welcome, and let's get started since we're running a little late. So we'll start by making our acknowledgement that Sustainable Fairfield acknowledges that our community sits on ancestral lands of the Sasquatch and Musqueam people, as well as that of other tribal nations indigenous to this region. We seek to honor past, present, and future generations of Native people and maintain deep spiritual and cultural connections to these lands. You guys hear me? Jim?
Thumbs up if you can hear us.
Really garbled.
Where's the mic? That's
I
okay.
can't believe you're late. I just got.
Mark down as 2 hours now.
Sorry.
This is any more clear.
Is that better? You're muted, Jim.
It's a little better, yeah.
Okay.
Yep, definitely louder.
We will suffer without air conditioning.
That's the mic, actually.
That thing?
That
Anyway,
thing.
Mr. Treasurer, would you care to?
Yes, I have not yet received the latest financials from the town. However, there's been no activity that I'm aware of, so our treasury remains at $4,211.02.
Great.
Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't print it out, so. Yeah, I just wanted to make an announcement that Yaniv Chen has been appointed to serve on Sustainable Fairfield at the last Board of Selectmen meeting, and as fate would have it, Yaniv is on his way to Costa Rica for a previously planned vacation, but we have been working closely on the Health and Pollution Committee with Yaniv, and I think he'll be a good asset to our group. We're now at 15 members out of the 20 that we are allowed. So I don't know if there are any liaison or community or committee matters that need to be discussed or voted upon. I don't think we have a quorum even. But is there anything that needs to be brought to everyone's attention?
What is our quorum now?
8.
Three,
2, 3,
4, 5.
7, yeah.
We're close.
I have it. Somebody will show up.
Maybe, yeah.
I just wanted to ask if everyone's able to get to the SFTF Google Drive, because last time there were problems with people.
Oh, the new and improved.
And I, yeah, because I moved it to the Sustainable Fairfield Task Force account. That's very fine. Of course, we don't.
Has everyone been able to find it? We need to delete the old one.
No, I deleted it.
Oh, I still have it online.
No, you can, it doesn't exist. You can delete it then.
I did.
Mary, I still might need to consult with you on how to do that. Last time I tried, I wasn't able to do it, but I haven't tried again lately, but I'll be back to you.
I'll be back.
You sent a link, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Is the agenda in the drive now?
yeah, if you go to SFTF.
Yeah, the agenda,
meetings?
Yep.
just as a reminder, the agenda and the minutes are always in,
Well, I wouldn't say minutes.
or they're supposed to be always in. Sometimes we're a little behind. I know a number of committees, or at least some of the committees that I'm on have taken July off, so it'll be an easy peasy minute when we do get to them. All right, so let's just move on with some of these items that we've this thing's
Presentation that RT can.
Okay, did we talk about that list? I guess
We were
maybe.
going to do it, no, we did it.
Okay, so on June 17th, Mary and I appeared before the RTM to give them a general overview of sustainable Fairfield with the, we wanted to talk about some of the hotter items, including sustainable CT recertification, the Heat Smart program, which has been ongoing for a long time, and are looking into the possibility of an ordinance to restrict and ultimately ban gas-powered leaf blowers. So overall, that was fairly well received. We kept it at a high level, didn't get partisan at all. Mary is perfect at keeping the
Jane Vanilla. It's me.
even keel. So, at the same time, this new committee within natural environment on health and pollution has been meeting regularly. There are a lot of communities, including in Fairfield County, but more so in Westchester County and Upper New Jersey, that have already banned gas-powered leaf blowers. So we're not alone, and we have a lot of great leaders that we can poach from. So we're working on different fronts to kind of put together sort of a draft ordinance, put together an information packet for the first selectmen and other RTM members, and just create some educational materials for the public. So it's going to be a fun exercise.
So the presentation is in there, it's got the link, so if you want to see what we did. And then when we, on the first page, the top 10 reasons, if you want to see scary information about gas leaf blowers and why you shouldn't use them, read that, the one pager. So the links.
Yeah, I think, my reaction going back several years, I think this really came into prominence during the beginning of COVID, when everybody was sheltering in place and working from home. And suddenly, we were all exposed to nonstop crews all around us with lots of loud machinery. And it turns out that the leaf blowers are particularly hazardous. And so the noise is one thing, but really the health impacts of the use of the blowers, including the noise, are pretty staggering. I think most people aren't aware of them. And it's particularly dangerous to seniors and young people. So, we're trying to educate the town and get them to do the right thing, which will be to phase them out in short order.
That would be
Okay,
just great.
I'm going to ask Mary to lead our next item because it's in her wheelhouse.
So there's 2 lots on Sturgis Road that abut the Perry's Mill property,
Yeah.
798 and 816 Sturgis Road. So
Or your backyard.
it is. It is, yes, well, I run there. And one of them has a house on it. So they're going through the different boards to see about purchasing it. They went before the Board of Selectmen on Monday and it was approved unanimously. They went before TPD, it was approved unanimously. So we've got Board of Finance on the 16th and the RTM on the 22nd. The committee meetings are on the 15th, which is when that'll be brought up initially. And then for some strange reason, I believe it goes before conservation, which doesn't make any sense to me, but I've been told it's gonna go before conservation in August because they're off in July. So it's gonna cost $950, and if you
$150.
$1,000, sorry, Kay.
I would have bought it for $950.
So they're using ARPA funds, Smith Richardson Trust Fund, and the town's payment in a fee in lieu of open space fund, which
You can use ARPA funds for that?
they're doing.
So, I mean,
So that's how they're paying for it. So we'll all be paid for it, won't be bonded or, cause any tax implications.
What are ARPA funds?
American Recovery P Act. I don't know what's the P.
This is money that was allocated after
Pandemic
COVID
stuff,
to,
yeah.
and yeah, the town, I think, used that to purchase the electric vehicles, for example. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, and a number of other projects.
So we are 100% electric vehicles for our mini fleet. There's two left. We're saying 100%.
Let's do a sound check. Is the sound good out there?
It's iffy, they said.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Okay.
Great.
Good with that.
You sound good, Jim.
He says, I
It's-
know.
Thank you.
He said, I'll be back. I was like,
Jim?
oh, it's almost.
Jim sounds like God.
I know, he does.
American.
Fallen God.
There you go.
All right, thanks. Where are we? Sustainable CT, you know, this looked so far off when we started talking about it earlier in the year. And now we are literally just barely a month away from our application being due. August 20th at 12 noon, they cheated us out of 5 hours compared to previous years. But fortunately, Mary has been spearheading these efforts. We've got help from people like Abby, who's with us tonight. Abby's a senior this year at Wesleyan, and she's particularly interested in energy and renewables. But we have others. Who else do you want to shout out?
We have Assad, which you all know is, I believe, you know, is Rabab's son. He's a rising senior at Ludlow. He's the only high school student, actually. We have Shreya Muthukuri, who is a rising freshman at UConn. He was the president of Sustainable Board, and Assad is the president of the Eco Club at Ludlow. We have Ellie Price, who is at University of Miami. We have Katie Pavlik, who, where is she? I forget where she is. Who else is there? There's 5 of you. So there's 1, 2, 3, that's 5.
I haven't met.
You
some
haven't
of
met
the
any of them, I
others,
know.
so
And we're
I'm
trying to
not
get
sure.
together next week. And so some of the interns that are in from prior years that are in Fairfield are gonna come and join us too.
Nice.
And they're also still returning back to college. So, and then we met with Ronnie Labrasiusa. Oh, I don't know. Mark's got it.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of vowels. Anyway, he is the intern for community and economic development, so he's gonna join us too. So,
Yeah, as usual, that department has a lot of the actions. And Mark has been, you know, always a champion, comes through in the clutch.
so I wanna give a shout out to Emma because she's been checking my equity toolkits. So I have 2 done, and thanks to Emma, I actually have 2 done. One was just like a lot of rearranging, and I did a terrible job. I think that was probably my first one. I just was like brain dump and I put it in the wrong spots. So we have 1 on green teams and 1 on, oh, my brain's not working.
Pollinator pathway.
Pollinator
And the-
pathway, Walter Fitzgerald.
Yeah. I had something to say and I lost it.
Okay. It's not just me.
There it is.
All right, keep going.
And then Bob is working on the Heat Smart one.
Yeah, and I'll definitely be calling on Emma and Becky and others because we've worked closely with Denise Page, who's essentially joined our equity meetings. She is an equity coach from Sustainable CT, and she doesn't live in Fairfield, but she has some roots here, and she's been very helpful. So trying to write that up. We need, in order to get certified gold, we need 5 equity toolkits, which is
No, we need 4.
4, sorry.
Can submit 5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We have 7 that we
potential.
went through Sustainable Connecticut and they thought that they don't qualify. So I'm trying to get ones that aren't, because the equity toolkit has to match up with another action, like Heat Smart is in the energy and pollinator pathway is pollinator pathway and stuff like that. So I have a couple that, several that are the miscellaneous action item. So I'm trying to steer away from that so that I can save that for, because we have so many miscellaneous actions, we can only have 2. So I'm trying to see if I can fill in all these other, because we have to have something filled out in each of the action items. So first is checking the box on the equity section. Second is making sure we're climate leader, which we should have no problem. There's Peter. You're on board. That should be no problem because we just got that in 22.
Yep.
So some of the things may actually still apply. We're.
Ask Peter if he can hear us and just to check it.
Can you hear Peter?
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
The third thing is, special to be gold is you have to collaborate with other towns. And since I do that all the time, I'm just gonna say that's them because I do that.
And we have done that.
And we've done that too, but I mean, I'm always saying it. So anyway, I don't see that as like, oh my God, but we're gonna have to figure out something. And then last is getting a total of 750 points. So we'll probably wanna aim for 775 or higher, just in case they take away some points, but
Hey, we lost quite a few last time, I think.
yeah, so I'm trying to work with Odette to give her things upfront as much as possible to pre-approve, so we don't run into that.
Odette is the intern from Sustainable CT who's placed at MetroCog, so she's helping the 6 towns in MetroCog. I don't know who's going for certification, but we are keeping her busy.
Yeah, Easton, I think, I don't know.
That reminded me, so with the equity ones, you sent them in, and if they have comments, we can revise, correct? Up
Yes.
Until,
And I haven't, I'm still waiting to get like the demographics and, you know, the little bit, but yes, so we'll send it in and then we can get the feedback just to tweak it. Yeah, that's the point, of trying to get those in right away.
Okay.
So the sooner we get those in, then we know we're set, because that's really the hardest.
So if anybody out there has spare time, you wanna call Mary and volunteer.
Just like always.
But just for example, Mary, Abby and I will be meeting tomorrow on the energy actions.
Peter, your shirt is terrible.
And we're trying to do that. We met with Mark last week, I think.
Yeah.
And so we're just trying to keep the ball rolling because we only have about 5 weeks left. So we can use all hands on deck for this. And, you know, we're determined to go for the goal. You know, we think we have the actions. It's really just a matter of documenting it, making sure we have all the required elements for submission.
Yeah, so there's a spreadsheet, I think I've shared it with everyone, that we're keeping track, and we're saying, so that our interns have all signed up for areas that they're interested in doing, so that we don't cross over each other.
And the special perk is if we do get the gold, we're gonna have a party.
If we don't, we don't. Get it.
No, I don't wanna.
Okay, all right.
Mary, I'll call you. You tell me what to do.
All right, well, you had done the forestry one in the past, I didn't know if you wanted, hey, what a nice surprise.
Hello. So we're up to something that didn't make this printed agenda. The first selectman has announced that he wants to create a new charter revision commission. And we thought it would be a good idea to have Sustainable Fairfield represented on that commission if possible. Obviously, we don't control it, but wanted to know if anybody was interested in raising their hands. I know we do have a potential volunteer in this room. But if anybody else is interested, let us know.
For me to do it as a commissioner?
You have to
Such as it is?
I have to ask.
We'd have to ask.
I'm not sure I could, I really want to.
Mary has also offered to step forward if need be, but we wanted to make sure anybody who was interested had a chance to put their hat into that ring. But it's very, very important. You might remember the ill-fated charter revision from the last election. And yeah, there were definitely some decent suggestions there, and there's always room for improvement. And you know, updating things at the town level, so this is an opportunity to work on that. And is there a date for that? Okay. Just as soon as possible, let us know if you're interested and we can figure out who should be nominated.
And it's listed on the link in the agenda, and you can apply in that vacancies link if you want to go ahead and do it, but yeah, it'd be nice for us to know, so.
Yeah, before anyone submits anything, just touch base, so we're on this, all on the same page.
So how many members are there?
It doesn't say, it's
No,
just
I'm
says,
looking, it doesn't say.
right, there's nothing.
Jen, do you have any idea about?
How many members are on the commission? I don't know.
I think the last time I had 7, but and you know, it has to be politically balanced. The good thing about me is I'm unaffiliated, so I don't tip the balance. So
Can you put your hat in the ring then?
I had offered to, it was my idea that we should be on there. And I said, well, if it's my idea, then I have to offer to do it, so. It's
Masochistic.
I am, as you know.
Well, Sustainable CT is gonna be over in 5 weeks, so.
Yeah, so they'll just clear her schedule.
Yeah, it will, but it's a short, I don't think it goes on for very long. I mean, it's a very finite period, so it's not like a
I need to have an
commissioner.
intervention.
My family would say the same thing. But I think last time, was it even a full year? Does anyone remember? I don't think it was even a full year. It might have been, it might have
It
been just
was-
barely.
I don't know.
I don't think it was all that long.
It's
So even if
definitely
it's
felt
a year,
rushed.
that's one year versus commissioner, what are you, like 4 years, 6 years?
Well, actually, my term got picked up in the middle because of a resignation, so I just have 2 years, but ordinarily it's a 4-year term.
Oh, well, there you go. To a fellow masochist, that's you. Especially that commission.
All right,
It's an
so
interesting commission.
if you're interested, take a look at the link and contact Mary or me. And we'd like to get somebody on that, and then no guarantees, obviously. So next item is just a note that this Friday from 6 to 9:30 PM, the Sand Jam is happening. And we're soliciting volunteers to man waste stations and educate participants on proper recycling and composting practices. As you may have heard, they're not completely in the know about this. So this, we can help reduce the amount of waste, but also help to collect anything that doesn't make it into the appropriate bins.
I would like to say something as a solid waste and recycling commissioner.
Please do.
There's a feeling amongst some members of the commission that volunteers at a town event who take composting material.
We have contracted with curbside.
I understand that, and my next sentence was to say I was very happy to hear that because it avoids a kerfuffle at the commission, because in some people's minds, technically, even if you are indistinguishable from a private residence bringing food in, because the amount you're bringing, you'd be considered a hauler.
It doesn't make any sense. There has to be a minimum amount of,
Of course, it doesn't make any sense.
just pointing out that it literally makes no sense. There has to be a minimum amount to be a hauler. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to go to the beach and do a cleanup.
That's right. So all this is true, but there are,
Which we've been doing for.
yeah, but this somehow has raised its ugly head at the commission, and it's
And I call it
It's-
BS.
going to be an issue, but I think
Maybe
we
somebody
can.
needs to just send it up.
I would also just point out, Ron, that the Solid Waste and Recycling Commission probably would have no idea that we were doing this at Sand Jam unless
not.
we told them. So let's
Of course
just.
not, of course not. All this is true, but
I'm not saying we should lie, but I'm
I'm
just
just
saying.
saying that there's a feeling amongst some that people who even bring their neighbors' stuff down there are haulers.
Okay.
And that's
That-
ridiculous.
That needs to be, no, seriously, it should be teed up to like the town attorney or whoever's got.
I think we're gonna deal with it.
It's ludicrous.
And how about other types of recycling? Like if you bring your neighbors bottles, cans, newspapers.
Right.
Again, see,
What's the difference?
see, the thing is, when a car pulls up and there's a bag of recycling or a bag of compost, it's indistinguishable. I mean, you can't tell whether there's one family or two families.
You have to check for DNA.
Well, you know, I'm just saying that if we could avoid the issue until we could, you know, clear it up, which we have every intention of doing, I think we'll be all the better for it. So I'm glad that stuff's being picked up by curbside. It's great. Because they're
We'll
haulers.
have so much compost that a single person wouldn't be able to bring it themselves,
That's right.
right?
That's what you
Hopefully
hope.
we need the hauler, because there's so much compost from this particular event. Yeah.
Well, okay, I just
All right,
wanted to get that on the table.
Just a reminder that we have been staffing a table at the farmer's market at Sherman Green, which is every Sunday from 10 to 2, basically looking for 2-hour shifts. I happened to make to the market for the first time this year, looking for our table, and I just missed Becky and Sean, who had been there, but I got there at the tail end.
Who manages that?
We do.
There's a link,
The
There's a-
scheduling.
there's a link on the agenda,
Yes,
Okay.
and there's a sign up genius, that's the link.
you just go to the Sign Up Genius, which is online,
Well,
and
just go to the link
Link.
that says volunteers needed, and that will take you to the sign up genius.
so you can sign up for a 2-hour shift.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we're basically promoting, better recycling, composting, heat smart, getting the energy assessments and anything else that we want to promote. So it's just an opportunity to meet with friends and neighbors.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's all on the agenda except for all the many upcoming events, which you should take a look at and see if there are any that you're interested in. And I'll just open it up. Jim, do you have any communications, Jim or Dustin, anything that we need to know about as forthcoming newsletters?
Yeah, just to note that the July-August newsletter is in the works, and I should be wrapping up the draft, I hope tomorrow or Saturday, so I'll distribute that for review. Well, I'm gonna, among other things, it's gonna have a fairly longish take on the work of the work around gas-powered leak blowers, including the 10 bad things about GLB, which I think is really interesting and informative. And I think, Dustin, we talked kind of separately about some things we're working on for the website. I don't know if you want to talk kind of even vaguely about those things. I think one of the things we want to do is, which we haven't done, is domicile the newsletters on the website, among other things. But is there anything else, Justin, you might want to mention that you're going to be working on?
Yeah, we'll be putting the newsletter on the website. I'm working on the new website redesign that puts more of the subcommittee sort of main like talking points and what we're trying to get. The major points of outreach we want to have for the community as few clicks away as possible. And so in doing that, I need to reach out to each of the subcommittees to have those discussions on what's top of mind, what are like some really big important things that people always seem to not understand about sustainability, and in regards to energy and food and recycling and equity and all these things, where we can make sure it gets very clearly seen and is easily digestible. And if people want to learn more and keep reading, there's links to click to keep doing so. But in order for me to organize this in a really intuitive way, I need to talk to the people who are experts in these fields. So I will need to reach out with each of the subcommittees just to get some of what are the top things everyone wants to either make available in terms of articles, resources, forums, those sorts of things, as well as, educational materials, but then fun stuff like media with movie recommendations that help sell and drive a lot of these points, YouTube videos, pictures, anything like that. So any of those resources that I could gather would be really helpful. So stay tuned. That's coming very soon.
One of the things we talked about doing is when Dustin is done with his good and hard work on this, is doing kind of a relaunch, communications relaunch of the site sometime in the fall. News release, etc., social media, just as to kind of reintroduce, perhaps literally reintroduce who we are to the community. Kind of a restatement of our mission. Just use it as a lever to reinforce who we are for the community. Invite people to come and engage with some of the resources we have, and engage with us as a task force too.
Jim, one thing that came out of our presentation, which I didn't realize, is that because we started as Clean Energy Task Force, that started in
2004.
2004, so we're 20 years old, basically.
Oh, yeah, cool. So hopefully we'll get this done within the calendar year and we can.
Yeah, I think our first meeting was September 2004, so maybe the issue after this, we can salute that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. At the very least, we need to make note of that. Again, we want to leverage all the work that Dustin is going to be doing, others, that he works with to load additional resource onto the site, leverage that into kind of a, communications effort that, again, kind of serves to reintroduce us and reinforce our mission. But that's great. 20th anniversary. That's a good hook.
Yeah.
I have to run out very shortly. I'm here kind of in my capacity as
Oh, yeah,
a member of the
Bike
Bike Head Committee. So I'm, as I mentioned to the people who were here first, I'm brand new to the Bike Ped Committee, so I don't have much to share. But if there are issues that have come to light for Sustainable Fairfield that I should carry back, questions that you have for Bike Ped, please tell me. So
I did check in with Sarah.
it sounded like you had.
We met.
Yeah.
She feels that the committee may not have done that much work, and so maybe I need to work with the staff for Sustainable CT for the actions, because I asked her about that.
Yeah, I gather that the committee is now going through a revival.
Yeah, when I looked, I was like, almost everyone is like, so-and-so's replacing, and it's a lot of like turnover, so,
Yeah. Yeah.
So, which may be the thing. But yeah, we connected on a bunch of stuff, and I think that going forward, we're gonna have a really great relationship. That's her
So I can continue to be a liaison, but
Great.
But hopefully going forward, I'll also have more information to share.
So when you come back, next meeting, as you're going to Spain, we will conduct the meeting in Spanish.
Enjoy. I don't speak a word.
Larry, your award-winning paella.
Ooh, sounds good. I'm in.
And we know it's not weird too.
That's even better.
That's a good idea. We should serve food.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us tonight, and
Oh, my pleasure. I'm
look
sorry I
forward
have
to
to.
having a real living, breathing liaison.
And Adrian has been coming to our meetings for many months, so she is not a new face to Sustainable
Yes.
Fairfield.
So it's a nice treat to be able to have an excuse to be here. Vice versa.
And Jen, thank you for joining us tonight. Is there anything happening that we should be aware of, state level?
Thank you for the in-person option, and I'm sorry I was late. I was at my son's swim meet up in Weston, and it's really the woods up there. It took me longer to get back than I expected, although it was beautiful. Unfortunately, I think not a lot of action. I know there's some rumblings about trying to bring certain components back for special session. Actually talking with one of my colleagues who worked on 5004 about whether or not we could push to add policy language around the heat pumps, because we actually did include the heat pump funding in the bond bill, $20 million, I think, and that did pass, but because 5004 didn't pass the Senate, sorry, that's the big climate bill we did this cycle, and the Senate never took it up. The language to allocate the spending of the heat pump money didn't pass, so it's sort of like languishing there. So we actually spoke with the speaker today about if there's a way we can include that, because there's a potential to be called back into special session in August for a separate issue, but as you guys may or may not know, the governor isn't particularly keen on bonding for things like that. So we're trying to figure out the dance that we could do to hopefully get that, because, you know, God forbid in after November, you know, there might not be any federal money for heat pumps. So that will be only on the state to do that. So that's an emergency. Certainly.
We can, help in any way. Like
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks. Thank you.
Did you have a question?
No.
No. All right, well.
I'm literally texting with your data right now.
Unless anybody has anything else, I think we can celebrate a very short meeting tonight.
Did Dustin leave?
Places.
I just want to add one thing.
Pump cool.
Yeah. Well, I am at home. Works very well. But when I was on the RTM, it was very easy to get columns in the local papers. And one issue that I felt was very important was pressure treated lumber, because at that point, pressure treated lumber contained chromated copper arsenic. And I noticed even at the craft fairs here, there was children's furniture being made with pressure treated lumber, and they were being used for the playgrounds in schools.
I think they've changed the.
Yeah, they did.
Right.
They did. So you have chrome and copper, but no more arsenic. But the point, or the item that became very clear to me that made a difference locally is these columns were loaded, and you never know who's following these things. But I was at remember the plant factory in town? The gardening center on Post Road. I was out with my wife one day, and I had just written one of these columns that was published, and there was someone from a group from, I forget the school, they were building a playground, and he was talking about pressure-treated lumber, using it for the playground. And he said, well, he just read this article. And I said, I happened to be there, I wrote it. So first thing he did was he put his thumb all over the name of the byline. I said, what's your name? Luckily, I knew the answer. But the point is, what I feel nationally we need to do is get the message out related to environmental issues, because Trump is pretty clear on where he stands, drill, drill, drill. So if we can deal with environmental issues, and not just us, and get it out there and keep it neutral, but just point out how well, for example, the artificial turf, how does this affect your children? Or, you fish, well, changing temperatures in the ocean, acidification, loss of corals. How does this affect you if you love to fish? I mean, so I wouldn't deal directly with any issue, but I would just cover it from a neutral point of view and get a point across.
Which is what we're trying to do with the gas-powered leaf blowers.
Yes.
Case in point.
Well, right.
Well, thank you, everybody out there in TV land. Keep cool, and hope to see you all soon, and hope to hear from you. You're rolling up your sleeves to work on sustainable CT just for a few more weeks.
And are you still up with
Are we
the,
all, go ahead, Mary, sorry.
are you gonna do the communications section again like you did before? You just have to update, like, you know, what you did last year or last time, 2021.
Is that for me?
You did it last time.
Yeah, no, we, in fact, about, 3 weeks ago, I enlisted Jen Carpenter, who was very helpful last time, to help us go through the inventory of, town communications relevant to the whole exercise and help us pull that together. So yes, we're working on that.
So I'll send an email one more time, but the easiest thing for us to do is, since we've now certified twice, we just need to update what we did. We don't have to start from scratch and figure things out.
Oh, exactly, yeah.
So I have the last time we certified, I have a link. It's on the Google Drive. You can find it pretty easily. It's under Sustainable CT, and then you can see that the 2021 submission is right there.
Yeah, what I literally did for her is give her the documentation that we produced last time and asked her to do just that, just go through it, update it. So she said she'd hear from us. She said we would hear from her sometime in the middle or late-ish this month. So she's on it. With our help. Can I ask, are we doing hybrid meetings from now on consistently? Is that the plan?
We might go back to Zoom, but some people seem to prefer or enjoy meeting in person, but I know it's a mix for everybody, and there are pros and cons, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's that?
I remember to come here.
I even sent an email today saying, well, Bob and I will be there.
But
We'll let everybody know in advance before the next meeting.
there's one problem with if the air conditioning is on and then interferes with the sound quality, and if we happen to have a very hot, humid day, which, as you know, does occur from time to time, how we're going to meet here and be functional.
I mean, it's pretty hot today. I feel fine. It's only an hour.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, but it's cooler now. There's less humidity now,
Yeah.
but it's not always been the case.
Well, it's really one more.
Anyway, we'll let people know beforehand. If people have strong feelings one way or the other, let us know, so.
You can always zoom in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but I'm just pointing this out.
All right, thanks, everybody.
Bye.
You're welcome.
Happy 20th anniversary.
Bye.